As you can see, this loadout is completely insane. This build explodes enemies, it annihilates everything in front of you, it's got great single target damage, great group damage, it hits so hard that if you're the lower power level player in the group, it'll carry you to victory. This Raven build has been teased by me since the first day of this season, and I'm finally getting this video out. So, Raven in the lead turns your lefty and righty into an explosive machine. It is so satisfying. It does energy damage, which is good against elementals, but the physical damage from the lefty and righty will do just fine regardless, and it increases your damage by 25%. Raven is a mythic character available from the Blockbuster quest, so you might need to voucher him, but I'm pretty sure from the first 10 seconds of this video, you decided if you wanted to voucher him or not. I considered using Blast from the Past, just like I did in this minigun video that I showed recently on the channel. This was an updated build to the previous Infinite Warcry minigun build that I've shown on the channel, and it's so good. The suggestion of using Blast from the Past was so awesome because the cooldown is still sufficient where you're only waiting 5 seconds for the minigun, and the damage bonus from Jurassic Ken was great, and I wanted to apply that to this build, but I thought the cooldown was just too much at about 28 or was it 38 seconds. So we are sticking to Happy Holidays, which brings us down to about an 18 or 19 second cooldown after Raven's done, which is not too bad for such a powerful ability. And of course, I want to mention that this is for the Blasted Badlands season. That means we are working with the Rage modifier. You will not start with energy and you will not generate it naturally, but your abilities will have a reduced cooldown and more damage. The only other way to get energy is by generating it in support or damaging an enemy with your weapon. So that is what we're taking advantage of here. Happy Holidays plus this modifier makes Raven's cooldown actually worth waiting for. And I'm actually using something interesting. So instead of using everybody's favorite pick, which is Fallen Love Ranger Jonesy, I am using Fossil Southie. Now, Fallen Love Ranger Jonesy used to give you 6 energy per second in support, which was great. Love that. But he's now giving you 2 energy per second, which means if you're killing constantly with Raven throughout the entire ability, you might come out of that with like, I don't know, 60 energy or so, and I'm trying to use the Warcry and the lefty and righty at the same time. So I went for a bold decision. Fossil Southie means that you're only generating energy when you have no shield, but you can get hit by an enemy, you can stand in the storm, you can maybe go into beehives for a little bit, acid pools, whatever. There are actually a lot of ways. If you're trying to take damage in Fortnite Save the World, it's actually pretty easy. So I found that to be a little bit more consistent. And of course, for the rest of the build, we're using Noir just to shoot for an extra 10 seconds. And if you are somebody who's concerned about the cooldown of this, you can use Where's Lefty. She's okay. That will reduce your cooldown if you've got a good pistol or SMG, but this is a Ventures loadout after all, so you can't really guarantee what your inventory is going to look like, and not everybody has that available. I'm not going to be messing with that today, but that is something that can reduce the cooldown further. Moving on with the build, we got Base Solo. He will extend your Warcry up to 6 seconds if you're getting constant kills, which is not hard with this build, and that's something that I like to use. He's one of those questline heroes, mythic, you can pick him up. I am using Golden Coconuts because 8 coconuts is plenty, extra damage is tight, and healing is awesome. So I usually pop a coconut right before I use lefty and righty in the Warcry, not in that order. You want to use Warcry first, of course. That will increase our damage and give us healing throughout the lefty and righty, which is nice to have, and absolutely stunning, which is kind of a bold pick because in this place we could use Battle Beat to do a little bit of extra damage, but I find absolutely stunning is really great because that works on smashers, and stunning them in place is a big deal. That is a high chance to stun, and it's for 2 full seconds, which means you can probably perma-stun big targets like smashers, which gives you plenty of time to kill them. That's especially relevant if you're a lower power level player playing in a higher level mission. So yeah, that's the build. No weapon to show. It's a Ventures build. Let's hop in game and annihilate some stuff with lefty and righty. I'm queuing a 144 player just so we have plenty of enemies to shoot at. An ability will go straight through the smoke screen that will reduce the damage from ranged weapons, and this is my team. It's a pretty average team. We are all collectively probably under-leveled for a 140 mission, but you'll see with this build, it's not going to matter. So, starting with this mission here, you can see I don't have any energy, but as soon as I go down to 0, I could just run away and wait a little bit. It's actually really nice. The amount of energy you can get before your health starts repairing is a lot. 40, 45, and then if I just need any more energy, I could just shoot a target. Obviously, with my nature random perks ranger, I'm not exactly expected to do much, but so long as you can get 85 energy, you can pop a Warcry. And okay, why does it sometimes take more? I don't actually know how that works, because it should be 85 energy. Well, regardless, you can see just stunning a smasher, doing ridiculous amounts of damage, and I am again under-leveled for this mission, just shredding everything. This build is nuts. All right, maybe I'm gonna look like a fool, but I swear it was 85 energy, all right? War cry, minigun. Oh, it's 90 energy. Okay. Or maybe I was not actually at 100 energy right now. Regardless, easy cleanup. I mean, this I keep calling it a minigun, but this lefty and righty has so much more time on it. I could probably go for a while, but I'm gonna put it away, mine the sunbeam, and maybe find an encampment, because ironically, smashers don't survive long enough to showcase this build. What a great thing to say. All right, now, like I said, it is bold to be using Fossil Southie for energy, because you kind of have to intentionally take damage, but once you do, it's not too bad. I don't even need the war cry. The war cry is really just for boosting teammates, using it when you have surplus energy, maybe during the defense it's necessary, but you can see versus normal targets, it's not at all necessary. You'll take out everything just fine. Got some stragglers joining the fun. Yeah, easy cleanup. This build, absolute carnage. All right, starting this one kind of early because, like I said, smashers die super easy, barely an inconvenience, and there aren't that many encampments around, and we are in a retrieve the data mission, which means the enemies are, well, going to be covered in a fog of smoke once the storm closes in, and for your viewing pleasure, I'm going to try and keep it bright and sunny because even though you're watching this at 3 a.m. when you're supposed to be in bed and the screen is the only light source in your room, I still think that a nice bright video is the happier environment to record in. You know, that's when you should be watching the videos, when you're eating breakfast in the morning or whatever. But, you know, we both know you're gonna do whatever you want. So this is the reality of the build. You can see when you run out of energy, you're kind of just chilling. And I know that 8 coconuts is the limit nowadays, and I didn't actually farm up to 8 because I kind of just went for it. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna look for more coconuts in between, and then I'm just gonna pop a war cry when it's available, get it going, easy cleanup. And I actually, as you can see with the damage I'm taking, I actually hope to take a little bit of damage. As mentioned, with fire enemies as my targets, it's not gonna be too hard to take a lot of damage. And you can see 96 energy is waiting for me. So I actually hope to take a little bit of extra damage. I hope that the fire is gonna tick away at my shield and keep it low enough for a sustained period. And a teammate of mine actually grabbed the energy boost. Thank you very much. So that leaves me in a position where I've got 100 plus energy just waiting for me, ready to go. Now, like I said, I'm gonna farm around here, hopefully get some more coconuts. 8 is probably plenty. If I just eat this every 2 files, it should be fine. Let's get closer to where we can make good use of this. Little Ben's war cry. There we go. So we're gonna eat a coconut just to do a little bit of extra damage. Pop the war cry, use the lefty and righty. Look at that. Look at that. We're in like a higher power level mission. There are so many enemies here. I put down no traps, nothing at all. This is just my teammates building a basic structure and then going for it with lefty and righty. This is one of my favorite builds to use. I honestly, I'm not gonna lie, I don't want to undersell this, but I do think the winter one is better because you can reduce the cooldown of abilities by shooting with your gun. I'm gonna link this video in the description down below. In that video, you can shoot with a bazooka or any kind of explosive or crowd clearing weapon. Xenombo works. Kill a bunch of targets at once and get your entire lefty and righty back in like 2 seconds. It's so overpowered, but that's just the winter season. At least for the summertime, we get the rage modifier where it's just a reduced flat cooldown that you can't really introduce much more cooldown to. You can, of course, use Where's Lefty like I mentioned earlier, but if you don't have a good SMG or pistol, which is likely, this is perfectly fine. I think waiting 18 seconds isn't too big of a deal. That's plenty of time to regroup, reinforce some traps, chill out for a little bit. And I think in this case, I didn't kill enough targets to increase the cooldown because, of course, I get 1 more second duration for every kill up to 10. And if I don't get all those kills, then it doesn't quite stack up. So, oh no! Oh, I didn't have enough energy. Yeah, I need to stop not taking damage. I'm just wasting my entire war cry. Now, something I've suggested in the past, and I think I've shown similar loadouts to this, where, okay, that's too much damage. That's too much damage. As I was saying, in instances like you can see right now, where I die a little early, I have in the past suggested that because the war cry is overkill for improving the lefty and righty, I'm going to say minigun, it's going to happen. I'm sorry in advance. What you can do is pop the war cry, then get kills with your weapon. Oh, I still think that's the winter season. I might be getting my venture seasons mixed up because you use the war cry while you're off cooldown and then you alternate them. So 3 more seconds. Let's eat a coconut because we have a lot of smashers. There we go. And we're back into the action. Yeah, so I've been talking about minigun and lefty and righty a lot on stream lately. Twitch link down below. And if I say this thing is a minigun and I don't catch it in the future, I know. We all know I'm talking about lefty and righty. I know I'm talking about lefty and righty. I just like big boom on screen does more damage go. That's what what I'm after. So, yeah. And again, we're off cooldown. So, I might just cut to where I'm not off cooldown because standing around for 14 seconds is not my favorite thing to do. I might prefer minigun because of that, but lefty and righty is so good. Well, now there's nothing to kill, you know? I'm off cooldown, and it's like, now what? These guys? Are these guys worth my lefty and righty? Are you guys even worth it? You're all just gonna die. You're gonna fall over like leaves. There's nothing out here that can survive my lefty and righty. We do have a mini boss that's gonna spawn when they're about, oh, actually, it's very soon. So I guess we'll have that to play with. I hope we have a mini boss I can do something to. You know, smoke screen, tank is fine. It'll double the damage I'll have to deal, but that's all right with me. Pop a little, you know, drone there. Go over here, heal up, and then chill out for 11 seconds. I envy the people who can watch on YouTube and don't have to see that cooldown. All right, tank. All right, so let's get up away from these beehives, eat my coconuts, pop the war cry, and get to work. So the stunning actually affects mini bosses. I thought so, because I know I use this in dungeons. I didn't want to say it in case I was wrong, so... Oh, I didn't kill enemies. That's all I could do. Oh, no. So bonus trivia to those who made it to this part in the video. I'll just wait my cooldown then, because I don't really have anything that can do a lot to this guy. My weapons aren't that strong. It is Ventures. I like the Ranger, but it's not like a mini boss killer, so I'm gonna go chill out for a second. We'll come right back to it. All right, here we go. So, here we go. We're gonna eat another coconut, and then here we go. All right, here we go. All right, here we go. Killing some enemies nearby is great just to extend the duration, because extending duration is tight. Then, of course, we can focus all that extra energy onto this guy right here. Now, you could eat a wafer and run totally rocking out if you don't give a F about cooldowns, but I do give a F about cooldowns, so, yeah. Honestly... I feel like we could have done that in 2 lefty and righties if there were enemies around to sustain the ability. You know, getting 10 extra seconds total is great. I'm just going to steal this right here. But there were not. So, you know, kind of an awkward moment where you want enemies nearby the mini-boss. That's kind of the opposite usually, but still. Just going to slay some more enemies right here and just enjoy the carnage. I wish it had less of a cooldown. I think even 18 seconds is kind of brutal, but it's so good. It's so good when it is active that this is still one of my favorite builds. All right, we're back in the action. Woo, here we go. I promise you guys, there's like 20 seconds of me just entering my idle animation, waiting for my cooldown to come off, and then as soon as it's back, I'm into YouTuber mode, showing everybody how amazing this build is. Yeah, you guys can see right now on screen why I wanted to record this video early in the mission, because now it's just a giant blue wall and everything's all dark and purple, which is probably just reminding you that it's time to go to bed soon. But not me! I'm awake and I'm shooting stuff with a lefty and righty. Eventually. And that time is now. Might as well eat a coconut. There's like 15 seconds left in the mission. I don't even think I'm going to be able to use my entire lefty and righty, but I don't care. I'm just going to shoot the stuff. And I might record a part 2 to this. I feel like we got the gist of how amazing this ability can be. There were some mist monsters. There were some smashers. We even got a mini boss that we could do something to. So, yeah. I think I'm just going to leave this one short. This is basically just a PSA and a loadout showcase saying, hey, this build is good, and I'm apparently recording at 30 FPS. You should go try it out. And then...